Yo, Steel Bills, what's the deal, man? Finally in the truck now, heading, like I said, Norfolk, man. Look like I'm about to drive right into a thunderstorm. But it's all good. I gotta get the remember you on the open road, all these, bug guts all over your windshield, man. Last storm I drove into it, was able to get some of that shit up off my windshield. It's disgusting looking at that shit too. It's nasty looking, like when they splatter on your windshield. I'm like, ugh. And I ain't got no windshield washer in my fucking in the tank. I gotta go get some. But even after a while, that shit don't help. That shit just dry up, whatever the fuck ever. But yeah, man, peep game though. I want to get back into Caleb Plant, man. I did some film study on Caleb Plant last night, man. This dude is a very underrated boxer. I don't think he's underrated. I'll take that back. He's not underrated, but I think he most definitely has the skill to give Canelo a headache. He honestly does. He honestly does, man. That dude, he's real good with the jab, man. He has a real incredible jab, man. He'll jab twice to the body and switch it up and jab upstairs from the same, from the same angle or the same level that he's, he's pumping the jab to the body in. You dig? So he's bent at the waist, jab, bam, bam. He's real deceptive in there with the jab. He's, real good combinations, real good hand speed, pretty sharp counter puncher in the clinch. Dig? But the thing is, like, I was watching him versus Jose uzcatagui, because that's clear as day his best win. I was watching that fight, and once again, as great as Caleb Plant looked in that fight, there was still things that Jose uzcatagui did not do in that fight. It's shit that he didn't do. He could cut the ring off. He really started cutting the ring off. And that's another, like, I gotta speak on that real quick, man. I had uzcatagui damn near winning the whole second half of the fight. I had him winning the whole second half of that fight. Like from 6 to 12, the difference was those two knockdowns early on in the second and the fourth round. But other than that, I had him winning that second half of the fight. I don't know what them judges was looking at. But nonetheless, what he did not provide in that fight was a jab. He didn't provide a jab. He did not. He had pretty good upper body movement. He was able to get under a lot of shots. But it was never like, it was just, that's all it was. It was up and down movement. He didn't slip. Canelo slips and punishes you off of the slip. uzcatagui is here, Canelo's here, and he's there. Ain't honking at me, my nigga. Oh no, he ain't honking at me. But he didn't provide a jab, you dig, to work off, to set anything up, because he didn't have the speed to keep up with Caleb Plant. Not even the foot speed. He didn't have the hand speed. His thing was timing. He did not have the hand speed to keep up with Caleb Plant, or to catch Caleb Plant, to lead with straight right hands and left hooks. He didn't have the speed for that. Did not have the speed for that. He had no jab, and was still able to slow him and wear him down. He started really wearing him down to the body. They both did pretty good body work in there, man. But uzcatagui started, he would land. It was a result of the body shots and the pressure that he was providing that kind of, wore Caleb Plant down. Because he most definitely wore him down. Caleb Plant was in there gassed. He was in there gassed. You seen even the shots that he did, the shots that he was landing later on in the fight, they had no effect on him. He was like, all right, cool. You hit me, all right, here I come now. It was a struggle to keep him off of him. It was most definitely a struggle to keep him off. He struggled to keep that man off of him later on down the stretch. With no jab, he was able to get in. No jab. Didn't have the most immaculate footwork. But, you know, that's not his game. That's not his game. Real, you know, one-dimensional style head movement. Like I said, it was just up and down. It wasn't side to side. And he was able to wear on dude. Now, granted, like I said, those are the type of fights you want to be in. You want to be in those type of fights that push you. So you know what tools to sharpen up for your next opponent. You want to be in that fight. So normally I wouldn't see anything wrong with, and I don't see anything wrong with it even in the now. I don't see anything wrong with him looking in the manner that he looked. Because I wouldn't call that, I wouldn't chalk that up to being exposed. I don't think he got exposed whatsoever. I just think he stepped up in competition, and that's what happens when you step up in competition. He stepped up in competition, and he realized there's some shit that I gotta tweak in my game. I gotta get back in, mainly my stamina. I gotta get my cardio a little bit better. Maybe I gotta run an extra round. Maybe I gotta spar an extra 3 or 4 rounds. You dig me? So it's not that he got exposed. It was just his endurance got pushed. And his endurance got pushed by somebody who does not have the skill set of a Canelo Alvarez. Sorry. It was a great win for him, though. He looked really good in there, especially the first 5 and 6 rounds. He looked like the perfect fighter in there. He dropped him. He was outspeeding him, clearly outspeeding him. He was countering him from the outside, countering him from the inside with body shots, making him miss big. He missed big in that fight. Big. You dig? But later on down the fight, and you know, Caleb Plant is cut, his nose is bleeding. He's looking a little, you know, he's gassed. He's fighting on fumes. Jose Uzcatagui was able to do that to him with a limited skill set. I don't think Uzcatagui has better feet than Canelo, but he's longer than Canelo, so it was easier for him to get to the target in a little bit better fashion, because he's taller. He's an inch taller than Caleb Plant. He's 6'2". He's able to get to the target easier, faster. Well, because you know, he can cover more ground by just simply stepping in. The step that he takes is going to be longer than the step that Canelo takes, because Canelo's only 5'8", 5'9". Uzcatagui is 6'2". All right, bet. So I don't think he has better feet than Canelo. He's just longer. And he was able to do that. The thing is, he wasn't slipping shots. He was weaving shots and getting under shots. He wasn't slipping them. Usually you'll dip when you dip. When you dip, you kind of stagnant. You can slip off the line and still cover ground. You close distance by slipping. You can do that. Mike Tyson would do it all the time. How he would get low. How he would cover ground. But you know, he was a short dude for that division. Canelo Alvarez isn't just up and down. Canelo is side to side with his head movement. And then another thing that Uzcatagui was doing, he was checking a lot of those jabs. He was checking them. At least that's what we call him at my gym. I don't know what y'all would call him at your gym. The catch. He was catching them. He was catching the jabs. I think early on, you're going to get that from Canelo. Canelo's really going to have to acclimate to his speed. Because Caleb is faster than Billy Joe Saunders. He's faster. So he's going to be catching a lot of those shots until he, all right, cool. I got his timing down now. Now he can start getting offline a little bit more. But like I said, Uzcatagui did not provide a jab. He didn't punish him for the misses. In that capacity, they were both, you know, they were countering the clinch to the body. But that's just the natural instincts of boxers. When you talk about counterpunching, I'm talking about, I've explained it before, sophisticated counterpunching. Like how Calab was catching Uzcatagui. It was real sophisticated. He was setting traps for Uzcatagui. He was stepping back and catching Uzcatagui coming in. That's calculated counterpunching. Canelo has that. Canelo has that. Canelo's gonna slip a jab and launch a shot to the body. Canelo's gonna do that. Canelo's gonna jab his way in. He's not gonna lead with just the right hand and left hooks. He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna get in the groove first. Let me at least touch you before I start landing on you. Let me let this jab just go, you know, let me just touch you. Let me just touch you. Let me just hit that guard. We got 12 rounds to do this. I ain't even trying to off your head right now. Let me just get my distance. You dig me? So it's still irritating me that Caleb Plant is talking about don't be surprised if it looks easy. That shit is still bothering me. Cause I'm looking like, yo, you didn't have an easy fight with Jose Uzcatagui. The dude cut you and busted your nose. That wasn't an easy outing for you. You went through the struggle winning that fight. That wasn't easy. So for you to sit here and say, oh, don't be surprised if I make it look easy. It's like, yo, you really? Okay. Okay. Uzcatagui didn't even drop you when he had you hurt. He's not the sharpshooter that Canelo is either. He's not the sharpshooter. Canelo's a sharpshooter. You'll be out of range early on, but he's still gonna find that body early on. He's gonna invest in the body early on. He's gonna tap it. He's gonna tap it. I don't see how you can feel this easy. That's tough talk. That's real tough talk. My nigga said easy. Don't be surprised if I make it look easy. Yikes. We shall see. At the end of the day, man, you got pushed by a dude who's taller than Canelo, but not nearly as skilled. You got pushed. As dominant of his victory you had over him, you got pushed. Well, early half of the fight was dominant. As dominant of a fight you had over Caleb Truax, it was certain shit that I saw in there, like no. You look better in a fight in which you got pushed in, as opposed to a fight you were supposed to run over and stop dude. You look better in the fight you got pushed in. I want you to think about how that sounds. You look better in the fight you got pushed. You had to dig deep. You had to dig deep and find a way to come out victorious. You didn't look that spectacular against Caleb Truax. That was a dude you were supposed to go over there and steamroll. You dominated the fight, but you didn't drop him. I think you said your right hand was broken. You dropped Uzcatagui with a left hook. The money shot, you know, the money punch that you hit him with the left hook. When y'all both traded left hooks, you landed the harder shot and put him on his pockets. You couldn't do that to Caleb Truax. A dude who provided no resistance for you. No head movement, no foot movement, no counter punching. Just one accurate shot he hit you with and he was content. Couldn't drop him. Jesus, dude. All in all, I think you are a very much so skilled fighter, man. But if you didn't have that belt, you wouldn't be worth the hassle, honestly. You wouldn't be worth the hassle that and the aggravation that motherfuckers go through going through to obtain this belt. You know, don't be surprised if it looks easy. I'm tweaked off that. Okay. Okay. So that was a good win for you, the uzcatagui fight. But the thing is, you haven't had a fighter of that caliber to really see where you're at. You haven't had a fighter of that caliber in the now to see where you're at once again. You haven't. And I think that's going to be a problem. And then after you get pushed like that, I think you got to continue to fight at least that level of competition steadily. So you can really, you know, so they can be concrete. You dig? Everything that you learned about yourself in that fight becomes a lot more concrete after you go through that a multitude of times. We ain't do that. You went and hollered at Vincent and Mike Lee and I don't know the other brother name. Yeah, homie, that's all I gotta say about it. I wanted to talk about that fight, though. I really wanted to talk about that. And did good, but did really good. But that man did not provide the shit that Canelo was going to bring to a fight, bring to the fight. So I don't know, man. Good luck to you, and I just can't wait to see the fight, man. Undisputed regardless, man. Doses.